Hey y'all, hey, what's going on, everybody?
On.
Welcome back to Real Queens Real Talk with the Gentleman's Perspective. We are your lovely and beautiful and handsome panelists of folk up here, the family. Y'all know who we be. First of all, did y'all miss us? I know y'all missed us.
Panel, right?
Another thing, don't come for me in my glasses, okay? I couldn't see.
Don't
I've been fighting it long enough.
Mine either.
Hey, bro, you feel me? You feel me? I got tired of trying to squint my eyes and trying to see. Don't come for your girl because she ain't sent for you, okay? But hopefully everybody has been enjoying their 4th of July weekend so far. Shout out to everybody that hollered at me for my birthday. Y'all made my birthday so special. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate that. Y'all say what's up to the baby brother that everybody loves, Mizzle 14, and then that other baby brother that's gonna give it to you straight, no chasers, Mr. Sir Neale Hurston Bih. Come on now. And our other executive couch producer, Tracy. What's going on, Tracy Boo?
Tracy.
Well, besides the fact that my ignorant neighbors been popping off fireworks since like 11 o'clock this morning, and my dog over here losing his mind, you know, besides the ignorant people. And I have a question.
What's up, Boo?
Are you sure we made your birthday? You sure we made your birthday special? It wasn't them Cuban men? Because I was following you on IG. You sure it was us?
It was a little bit of everything. I can't even lie. Let me tell you.
Okay.
If nobody has ever visited Miami South Beach, please go, okay? Save up your little coins, whatever you got to do. Get you a hotel right there on South Beach, and you can have the funnest time of your goddamn life. Let me tell you, the complete opposite of what everybody said it would be. So, yes, you all made my birthday very special as well, too, Tracy. Thank you very much. It wasn't just the Cuban men, okay? I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. Just say that.
Y'all barbecuing today? Are y'all eating some barbecue?
Now I'm gonna go buy some barbecue.
With your bougie ass. I'm gonna go buy some barbecue. Fuck that.
I just want to see the fireworks, but they shut down like the Saturday. Sign up over here, no fireworks. So I'm like, okay, where we gonna go see them at? So
they already started. They started popping fireworks in my neighborhood about Friday-ish, around Friday, which is, you know, it's comforting to know that they're not gunshots because y'all know how to move about the hood. So when I would hear back in the day, I'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You gotta go run and duck. We good.
Is it me, or why do people let off fireworks when the sun is out? You can't even see the colors and shit. Like, you just want to blow shit up. It's like you just want to explosion. I want to see the colors. I want the festival, the holiday season. Sure, but it's like they've been doing fireworks up since like ever.
This one early.
Man, I don't know. Or something, but like, and the people that do it over here in this neighborhood, they like the 4th of July type shit. Like, you can feel the shit vibrating in your walls. They play no fucking games when it comes to the fireworks over out here. Which, like I said, they only do it once a year. I ain't mad at them. Last time they did was for the 4th of July. So pop on. Just don't set shit off on fire in this neighborhood, goddammit, because we pay good rent around here. Hey, Brittany Boo, what's going on?
How you doing?
What's going on? Hopefully you had a good 4th of July. You eating some barbecue, Brittany. Because my husband did put a little something on the pit. Thank you, baby. Because that's all I wanted was a little bit of chicken, a little sausage, little baked beans, a little potato salad. You know, not too much.
Potato salad with some greens, some cornbread. You know what I'm saying? Wait, some red velvet cake, maybe.
On purr. You know what I'm saying? That's all I wanted. And I got it, y'all.
See, at least you got nice neighbors. I appreciate your neighbors. My neighbors done took over the field next to our house, and they're having fireworks off between them and the Hispanics down the street. They got a bounce house. They got cars barricading the street in. They got carnival games.
If that ain't some nigga shit.
Listen, girl,
they got 4 pits. They got porta potties.
Damn. This has to say porta potty.
They got porta potties. When I tell you my dog is having, like, I'm holding him because he is like, I can't live. I'm like, yep. So at least you got nice neighbors. My neighbors don't care about none of us. They've been doing this since Memorial Day. They been doing it since June. Girl, you thought June? I was like, okay, then Juneteenth, we done? No, okay. And then we're gonna have a Labor Day. I was like, a Labor Day.
They said, nigga, we got some more. Hold on, I got some more.
Listen, Biden been sending out these stimulus checks. They ain't got nothing but money. Apparently, I'm like, what the?
And more is to come.
Auntie MoMo's topic about the monthly stimulus checks.
Okay, yes. Speaking of which, the topics for tonight, y'all, we gonna talk about that murderer, Derek Chauvin, getting 22 and a half years. We're going to talk about how we feel about that. Also, the monthly stimmies are supposed to start this month on the 15th. If you ain't updated your address, your shit, you best do it, because don't be calling out to the IRS or the Moneybag Joe place after the damn fool because you didn't update your shit, okay? Bill Clinton, I'm not Bill Clinton. Well, he was a pervert too. The other Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was released from prison on Wednesday. Now, the charges were dropped on a technicality. In my opinion, he's still guilty as hell. I love Cosby, but he's still guilty as hell. And a lot of Black Hollywood has something to say when Felicia Rashad came to his defense. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about who's everybody's favorite performance was for the BET Awards. If y'all didn't see him, they came on June 27th, and it was good. Okay, me and my sister, we were so damn tired, plus we had to pack to leave, and we was a little drunk and a little hungover. So we was watching it, and from what we seen, it was very good. Very good. Miss Tabbage Patch Brown came with a classy clapback for Wendy Williams' ass. When I tell you she checked her ass in the name of Jesus, and it was the most beautiful, classy read I have ever seen in my life. And lastly, y'all, we're going to talk about these Olympics. Are these Olympics low-key racist? Now, y'all already know by now, Sha'carri Richardson has been, she's on suspension for 30 days for weed showing up in her system. Now, we're going to get into all the details and all of that surrounding, why she may have smoked this, that, and the other. And aside from that, the U.S. Olympics are banning swimming caps for natural hair. They're saying that none of the other elite athletes have to wear them. So basically, why y'all niggas got to wear them? Am I the only one that sees something wrong with that? Is that like low-key racism to somebody somewhere? That don't make no whole lot of goddamn sense.
Obvious. It's obvious.
Okay, well, I thought it was just me.
I got a thought. I got a thought on that one.
Well, we're going to start with you when we come to that one. I'm pulling up. The first thing that we are going to get into tonight, y'all, is that old murderer, Derek Chauvin. He has been sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison for the murder of George Floyd, right? Now, he has also been granted 199 days for time served, but for the rest of his life, he cannot own a gun. He cannot own any sort of firearms whatsoever, and he has to register as an offender for the rest of his life. Now, when it came to the closing statements that the family gave right before he was sentenced, he did offer a little bit of somewhat condolences to George's family, although nothing you say can ease the pain of what they're feeling and can compensate for the blatant murder and disrespect that you have for this man's life. But I don't understand, and maybe one of y'all can help me understand this. Why is that when he was getting ready to talk and say, finally for the first time speak and say something, why did he say he was advised by his legal counsel not to go into anything and not to say anything? Because if you're guilty, you're guilty. I would think you could be able to talk your shit now.
No, because it's a PR statement at this point. They advised him, as you said, to how to speak for him to come off to the public, okay? They couldn't let him off just on the snap of the finger, but they literally gave him the minimum. Okay.
No.
He could have got 12 and a half years for each count. And there was 4 different counts, right? Or 3 different counts, something like that. But he's getting time served for 199 days. I don't feel like that's even fair. I feel like his shit should start from the day on, whenever day they convicted his ass. 22 and a half years start from that day. And then not only that, when did the other officers go back to court to face their own, like for what they did as well, for their role in it? When did they go back to court?
They've been very silent on that, and we have they've been very silent on them. And if anything, to solve this from ever happening again, police officers need empathy training, sensitivity training, so how they're in get shot or killed situations. You know what I'm saying? So they got to know how to approach situations. I think it could be prevented. A lot of people don't believe, that. But it's just like, this is a reason why people are asking for police reform, not counsel the police, but reform them, give them training. You get more training at the Gap than you get at the goddamn police office.
Come on now, you better say that.
But you're holding a gun. So I think they need tactical training. They need, and also for them to, talk about this shit, dead bodies and everything. Come on. Why people are on, it's a lot, but it could have been handled different. And I think his sentence is very light. People are in jail for longer for having a quarter pound a week.
That is very true. That is very true. Mizzle, what's your thoughts on it?
Is he supposed to be facing federal charges too, or this is a state?
As far as I
have more coming up.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I think it was supposed to be more coming up, but I say this. Yes, it's messed up that he didn't get the most that he could get. But at the same time, out of all the officers that had killed our black owned, every one of them didn't really get jail sentences or time and everything. So I would say that in our group chat, and I still stand by what I said, that it is a start. It's not the best, but it's the start. Because to be honest, I didn't even think he was gonna get that much. I had no faith.
That's true. Yeah.
So I was like 22 and a half years. I said, okay, it's something. He did something horrible. He should have suffered. Y'all know how I feel. I didn't have no faith throughout this whole process until I found out he got guilty and everything. So I was like, I'm just gonna hold my breath and see what happens. So yes, people got jail services less than what they got or deserve with everything, less than him or more than him, less charges, less stuff. And yet it's messed up. That's what a lot of states are expunging a lot of the records, like New York, when the legalization of weed and marijuana, they're going back to the records and getting people out or taking the records off and expurging the records and stuff, so like that, because it was messed up because they was targeting the communities and so like that. That was heavily supporting that, so like that. So yes, it's a start to me. Yes, he should have got more. He should have got the max, but 22 and a half years is a start. And I think if they doing this with him, then it should follow suit in further situations.
Right.
It's one thing because it got caught and it got the whole world outraged. No, every situation after that should be follow suit and everything. That's why I feel. So I say, yes, it might not be the best for everyone. Yes, people might be upset because it's not that much, but at the same time, it is a start that we get. He could have walked away, and it was like, so like that. So I can't be too mad, but at the same time, I'm not. Was 100% had my expectations so high.
Right.
So I let it go what it was. So 22 and a half years, let him serve that time. And who knows? People in the jail system, you know who he is. They probably say, huh?
I said he's only going to have to do 15 years of that. He's not going to have to do a true sentence.
Oh, whatever. 15 years. Like I said, at the end of the day, he's still spending time. And let's say, hope he gets safe for the whole 15 years because people are ruthless. They see you do something like that, they might come after him. So I don't know what they're trying to do. No protection. So.
And you got to think about that. The fact that he may have to be in isolation for these next years, 12, whether it's 15, 22, he's going to have to be in isolation. He can't trust nobody up in that prison. He's not safe to be out there and gym pop with everybody else. So to me, for me personally, that's a little added extra to make me feel good that you really going to have to sit and just think about your shit. It's just going to be you, them walls, and that slop you eat 3 times a day.
Yeah, if you read the deposition, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's been in protective custody since he was taken to jail. They put him in a federal prison, not just jail awaiting his sentence. They put him in protective custody like that because they know how people they treat people that have racist crimes, child molesters and stuff like that, you easily
They are ruthless. They go
yes.
gone. So
and did you
been in protective custody since it started, and that's what a lot of the public don't read in between the fine lines. They've been protecting him and trying to make this a point of maybe our civil rights justification. We can go down the line, but they've been having his back since the shit started.
Well, because you remember when he was found guilty and he was going to jail, like immediately when he got to the jail, you remember it came on the news, all the black officers that were working on that unit, they had removed all the black officers from that unit. And those officers had actually went and filed a formal complaint against the jail for basically saying they were discriminating against the officers, assuming that they were just going to get in there and beat his ass, which, let's keep it real, 50-50 chance that they weren't going to beat his ass. They was going to turn a blind eye while somebody else whooped his ass, at least, you know what I'm saying? But you're right, from the beginning, they have been protecting his ass. But let's hope and pray that he does have to serve his time out like any other normal criminal that's sitting there for 50-60 years for selling weed that don't even belong in a damn jail. But either way it goes, he's going to be miserable. But yeah, Tracy, what's your thoughts?
So he has 22 and a half, but he does have the federal cases that he is now facing. So that is potentially more time on top of this time, because your state and your federal are separate. Hopefully we can get another 22, let the new clock start. Good times. Because in New York, you normally get 25 years for murder anyway. Like that seems to be the going rate in New York. Oh, you murder somebody, you get 25 years. That's like the going rate. That is. But what I will say is, I like that he's in solitary confinement. I like that you get to spend 23 hours a day locked down in a cell by yourself. Because I was watching that Kiefer Sutherland thing, and he was like, your mind literally eats away at itself. It's the most torturous thing ever to be locked down with no other human interaction for 23 hours a day. Sounds like a great place for him to meet. Protect him all y'all want to. Leave him right there. Don't send him to general. Don't let him interact with no other people. No. Sit him in that cage by himself for 23 hours a day. I think that sounds fitting to me. Leave him right there. Yeah. I think it sounds like a great plan.
Great. You remember Corey Wise had said that? The interview Corey Wise of the Support Guy, he said that too.
Did you guys catch the point where they overlooked the point of them having a work history together?
Oh yeah, they did security together.
So the whole theory of him having a gripe with George Floyd because George was like, I'm not taking your shit. Don't talk to me like that. And then it's like, how do you just arch that and look over it? And that's a key point in the situation. And that's why I'm like, that's proof that they had his back from the get-go. The police force, the blue, they're protecting their own. Those are lawyers, everybody in between. They work for the same umbrella, should we say.
But I think as long as they have qualified immunity, they're always going to, by nature, protect their own. Because once they realize they can get to one of them, they realize it's just that easy to get to me, which is why they tend to huddle up against each other and put up so much defenses and say, oh no, we don't even let you come after one of us, because if it's them, the next day it could be me, it could be you, it could be anybody else. Which is why when people say defund the police, they really need to defund the police, solely because the thing that gives them that qualified immunity and gives them that protection comes from their police union. And the only way to get rid of that is to build a force without the union.
Exactly. And we also have to understand that they have a gang mentality. Here in Los Angeles, there's an urban tale, you would say, that Latinos that work within the police community have a gang thing going on. So they can steal your coke and steal your shit and keep it, and they all keep themselves comfortable. and to the fact that it's not even an urban tale anymore because they've isolated them by the tattoos they put on their arm. It's like you branding someone from a sorority or a fraternity, you know, to show you that you're a part of that, whatever, so on and so forth. And it's proven, but they have a very strong gang mentality where they watch each other's back, no matter what wrong you do.
You mute.
But so I do think that the reason that they did that whole, like, he can't say too much is because he has that federal case pending. But did you hear when he was doing his statement? He was like, oh, in a couple of weeks, you guys are going to get some information to give you guys some peace. So I'm like, is he now going to flip on the rest of, like, they turned on me, so I'm just going to flip on all of them? Like, what was that? That was my question. Like,
that's exactly what I said. Does he mean, like, is he still trying to be ecstatic?
Ecstatic, yeah, somewhere.
Nothing else. No, I think audio on it. It's still disputed. Okay, it sounds clear now. Does it sound clear to everybody now? Does it sound clear now? Because I did hear some static at first.
It still sounds off, but
it still sounds off.
Yeah, it still sounds static.
Let me see. Let me try. Hold on 1 second. How about now? Y'all let me know. Does it still sound like it's static?
No, it's better now.
It's better now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, now I'm back in.
Okay.
Your girl
done learn some little technical stuff on the little StreamYard or whatnot. IT around this bitch. Little IT around here. What was I saying though? What was we talking about?
You were talking about how he was gonna flip or he gonna flip up there.
Yes. Okay. That's what I didn't understand is why did he make that statement saying that in a few weeks you guys will see that, you know, everything is going to start making more sense. Like, is he saying that because he feels like some evidence against George Floyd is going to come out, or maybe some evidence against the other officers? Like, is he going to try to, like, maybe throw his commander in chief or whatever under the bus? Like, well, I had my commander on stereo. My commander was the one that told me to do it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, or am I just conspiracy just into it?
But you got to think about, remember when George Floyd, when he first passed the autopsy, they were trying to say that he had drugs in his system. They were trying to, you know, parallel his past to his actions and why this man, I'm not going to say his name, was so forceful, you know? So they may bring back up those things because they demonize the black man. He did this, he did that. So maybe that would be.
But are you trying you trying to use that for the federal cases sentencing? Like,
I think it's
if he really sentenced for the state, will he try to bring up that old news for the federal for? Unless he got something that the federal can help him with his other officers. That was the only tea I would think he would give, that to say that he was an actor on his own or something like that. Well, he did it, but still.
But like Brittany said, his lawyers, they're trying to work on a loophole so that just exactly the same goddamn thing with Bill Cosby. We're gonna get into his ass next. But yeah, they're trying to look for some sort of loophole or something to get him off because it's just too it's too much. It's so much and it's too much all that's going on with that. But like, who was that said that he's only gonna get 15 years? As long as he gets to sit out the 15 years in a federal prison day for day, it would be even better if he was in Gen Pop doing that. But even if he can be in the shoe for the next 15 years, that would work for me too. I ain't even mad. Hey, classy, boo. Happy.
Who are we to say that they don't put him up in a location in Florida in a condo and he ain't even in jail? We got to understand is that they protect their own. Again, you know what I'm saying?
So no. So this one, so state time, you have to do your time within the state. Now, his federal time, you can do federal time anywhere. There's no like thing that says you have to do it. No, they're completely different. So he may do his federal time in Florida or in Pennsylvania or someplace else. But now you gotta do your state time in whatever state you commit the crime in. So his state time will be spent there. Then his federal case, depending on how that works. But I think I really think he's trying to cut, because he was trying to cut a deal before. Like, so that was his original thing. He went to cut a deal, and the attorney general was like, I absolutely will not sign off on it, because he was like, they're not going to be looking at me like I'm crazy. Oh no, they wouldn't sign a deal for him. So he tried to get a deal, and they refused to offer him one, because they was like, nah, we don't want no parts of that. So I definitely could see that now for the federal case, now that he has state time, I could see him trying to cut a deal federally, to cut a different deal, so that maybe he can serve his federal time at the same time that he's serving his state time. So he could just kind of combine that all together and not have to serve them back to back, is what I think he's doing. But I truly think, because the more you hear about their police department in that state,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
So terrible. Like, there's just so many cases, and it's like, well, dang, I didn't know it was that terrible. But they have, like, I thought New York was bad, but I'm like, oh, they something else out there. Like, they out there is something terrible. So I think he might be trying to give up the state, like his whole union, the whole board, the whole police. I think he might be trying to flip on all of them and say, they told me to do these. Like, exactly. And I think what it's really going to be is, because you know how they be like, oh, well, you have to take these type of trainings. You got to do this. You got to do that. I think he's going to come out and say, I didn't do any of these things. Yeah, they had me sign off on them, but I was here, and here at this date, this time. So although they told you I took this, I did this, oh, I was supposed to take this sensitivity training, I was supposed to do these things, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. They ain't one of these. What?
That's the only thing
I didn't do. Yeah, so I think it's going to be one of those where he's going to flip on the whole system and say, oh yeah, they told y'all I did this, and this. I ain't do none of that. I was here this day, this time. They said I was supposed to take this, do this. I ain't did none of that. So, as much as, or they had some sort of internally, they was like, if you get this many arrests, if you do this, if you do that, some off the books. Yeah, some off the books type thing that they was running, to say, oh no, this was a going thing, that if you do this, and this, bada bam, bada boom, or whatever kind of thing he running. But I truly think he's going to try and turn on his fellow police officers. But I think he's gonna be asked out on all ends if you do that.
Because they all gonna be on the team. They're trying to fight each other. They're gonna all be trying to fight each other. And just like you said, that's not the only infraction that they have with their misconduct as being police officers in their respected cities.
And not even his first time either. This is what, his second or third time?
Yeah. They've been slamming pregnant women on the ground. They've been planting drugs.
No, they got some crazy mess out there. But then, so he has his federal case. Then he has a case where he did pretty much the same thing to a minor. So he has 2 more cases going. And I think Tao, the little Chinese guy, is the next person who has their case. And I think his is in October. It's either September or October is the next case, and that's his. But then they all are going to have federal cases on top of this. So
what if they all turn on each other? That's what they're like, their game.
That's going to be their best bet.
But their life of freedom is on the line. Most of the time, people who are so close together usually turn on each other, especially.
Hell yeah!
But I think like the two like the little Hispanic looking man, I can't think of his name. Like, he had only been on the force like 2 or 3 weeks, so he ain't got nothing to give up. Like, you ain't even got nothing, bro. You just started. So it's
if anybody should have maybe got a slap on the wrist, it should be that little Asian guy, because he was just literally trying to keep this the peace some sort of way. He didn't even realize what the hell was going on, and I'm pretty sure once he did realize, he has to protect or at least show up and be there for his fellow officer and be like, okay, y'all move back, even if he thought something was wrong. Because you know who else I think that may have thought that something was wrong was that that light-skinned officer, the one black guy that was with him. He was on TMZ. They caught him in a grocery store, and you know how these parents are with these phones nowadays. Now this happened right after that the incident with George Floyd happened. She had her cell phone for all of his face. You feel bad that you're a murderer, that you participated in somebody dying, like you're going to jail. Like this man, like put his groceries down and like moped, looked like he was getting ready to cry, walking up out that grocery store.
And another point to what you just said, Auntie Momo, that's why I think these police need weekly, bi-weekly training, quarterly training, because they have PTSD too. And I don't want to offend anybody by saying that, but it's a traumatic job to work. Okay, this is why they may become they become numb to other people's emotions. They're not as empathetic. They're like, fuck, gotta go shoot another crackhead. And that's their options. Why do I have to wrestle? Why do I have to do this? The police needs to be reformed and be restructured so they can have that sensitivity training so these things don't happen. I'm sure it's a stressful job. Again, I'm sorry you don't like to hear that, but a police officer, a nurse, a firefighter, even to the point of a mailman.
You mute.
Yeah. I don't have that much sympathy. You choose your job. I mean, if it's a job that's not chosen for you, I probably have more sympathy. But you choose to be a police officer. You literally know going into that job, this is a job where I put my life on the line every day because you never know. So if you know this going into it, I don't feel bad for you when that's an option of the job. I mean, I wouldn't do it. That's like saying, would you be willing to run into a burning building and risk your life to potentially save somebody's cat? Absolutely not. Sign up to be a firefighter. Like, nope. Nope. I sure would be.
To piggyback off what Brittany was saying, when she said no, he was just wrong. They were telling him that he wasn't breathing, and he's the one that made the medic back up. I feel like after a certain point, that was his pride. He kept his knee on his neck out of just straight, pure, that was his own pride, his own white privilege, if you will, his own, he decided to be the judge, the juror, and everything at that point.
Abuse of power.
Abuse of his power. And after for so long, that was nothing but him just being prideful. In my opinion, that's what it was. So hopefully when the rest of the officers go on trial, that they too will at least get some sort of years. Again, if anybody who may be spared a little bit, in my opinion, I think that it would be the little Asian guy, because again, he was just standing there trying to help diffuse the situation. But again, an innocent black man lost his life. And so Derek Chauvin got to be a goddamn, what is it, example? You got to make an example out of somebody, make it out of his ass. Because he did it right then and right. And then not only that, I feel like if the judge or anybody on the jury would have found his ass guilty, then they would have had some goddamn trouble on their fucking life.
Yes, and you know, another thing is like how we have our different opinions of how the officer should have approached it or handled it or whatever. We come to a point where we're like, damn, what do we do in that situation because we're black? You know, they may have some sort of racial bias towards us, and if you even flinch, don't even have nothing on you,
right?
You got an option to be popped. And it's not even, you're not a criminal, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's, you know, we're trying to figure it out because we're law-abiding citizens, but the police aren't law-abiding citizens. And we have to evaluate that shit in like within 15 seconds. Come on now.
Well, we're going to pray on that. Hopefully the rest of the officers, like I said, get the same just that Derek got, because they do deserve it. They don't deserve to get off scot-free for it at all. If you're going to convict a nigga that was in the car of a stolen car who didn't know nothing about it, if you're going to convict his ass for being a part of it too, convict everybody. God damn it. That should apply to all the officers. That's just my damn opinion. But y'all, Moving right along. What did JW say about Auntie? Just like if all you do is drive the car away from a robbery, exactly. That's what I just said. You charge the same
accessory, yeah.
exactly. So they all need to be charged as accessories. God damn it. But moving right along, y'all mark your calendar. The first check, monthly stimmy check, is starting on July the 15th. Now you'll get a maximum of $300 per child that is 5 and younger, and any child between 6 to 17 years old, you get $250 a month, and that's gonna go all the way to the end of the year. And I believe they have it set up to where you can just get one lump sum. You can choose not to get the payment right away. You can choose to get it at your taxes, was it next year? Or you can just steady get the monthly income that comes in. So I feel like that's a good thing. Moneybag Joe is steady making it rain on us, and we deserve that. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie, I feel bad for some of you need G's that ain't got no kids.
I ain't got no kids.
You better go claim somebody else's kids. Ratchets do it every year.
I'm not paying with these tax people right now in this season, baby. So nope. Because they looking for motherfuckers, they lurking. So I'm just be like, okay.
And let me ask Tracy, another fellow mother, and any mothers or fathers that's in the chat, do y'all think that that's good? Do y'all think we should get more money than that? Or are you like me? I'm just grateful that we getting something a month, and I'm happy for that because that's the extra $250 at least for the next couple months. What you think about that, Tracy?
I think that it's a good amount. I do think that in comparison to other things, it's a fair amount because it was unexpected money that nobody was planning for. We'll take it. I absolutely agree with it because it used to be what it was. It was like, so y'all orange ex-president got rid of the child credit that you used to be eligible to claim on your taxes. So he got rid of that. So this is to kind of put it back per se. So it's a good compromise. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna get it, but I'm cool with it. I appreciate everyone else who gets it. I ain't mad.
Y'all excuse me. I'm sorry. I don't feel good, and I'm trying to contain this cough. Please forgive me. Mizzle, Sir Neale, did y'all have any thoughts?
All right. Was this a part of the stimulus, or this was something that he supposed to put it back since the Orange Man took it away? Because if I remember correctly, growing up, I always remember that they always had a child tax credit on your taxes. So is this something that he doing? What's this? Orange Man took it away, and people was getting their money. Let's give it back to them because they do to earn this. So I was like, okay, so this is something like this will put it back to give the money they probably would got lost or probably would have got it if they would have not taken away. So that's I was like, this is the I would say I never heard this was a part of the stimulus package because I said that's kind of jammed up. I mean, because
not that I'm aware of, I don't know.
People who didn't have children, okay, we understand that this is something that we didn't qualify for in the first place. So that's why it's like we say this is part of stimulus. I said I ain't never heard that. I know the child tax credit was part of something that was in the taxes before, and people was getting it. So now they putting it back. So you get it. So I said it's good, and the monthly payments that is you getting to make up for the lost stuff that was taken away. I think that's a good reasonable amount for people who have children because sometimes it's like it's hard. They're already giving us housing assistance.
It's hard.
We need help with mental assistance. So that, and then children on top of that. So it's good for people who have children who also need the help as well. So I'm a single person, so it doesn't qualify for me. But I'm not knocking it for people who needs that and everything. It's something that needs to be due to them. So Orange Man did a lot to y'all, and y'all, the people who supporting them, are still trying to support him. So now and y'all getting them money back. So I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that. So it's not part of stimulus. It's a child credit act that was taken away, and it's coming back.
So then you gonna go borrow somebody's kids and claim them for them?
Both.
Then no, I'm not borrowing nobody's kids. Again, watching everybody's taxes with a fine tooth right now because you got PPP loans, you got the grants and everything. They're just throwing money.
Buddy.
You know,
did you hear they coming back for people for this unemployment?
Yes, they are.
They catching on to them unemployment scams.
Yes. Our conversation in September when I was telling y'all how they cracked down on everybody here doing the California unemployment scam that in like other places. But the thing is, let's get back to the point. I think this would benefit a lot of parents that do have kids because kids are expensive.
Hell yes, and they eat a lot.
Like, you know what I'm saying? When I'm going to have kids, when I'm able to, you know what I'm saying, just run the ship clean. And that money would help them because kids are out of school right now. It's summertime. You put them in cat, you put them in Pop Warner, you know what I'm saying, softball, and so on and so forth. And it's the option of one person may have maintained their job, one person may have lost their job because of the pandemic, and y'all trying to, you know what I'm saying, balance shit. So I think that's why they assessed it in that way because, you know, we need to take care of our kids in real talk.
Yep.
So that little, you know, little stipend is nothing big. You know what I'm saying? You probably spend more than that going to the club. You know what I'm saying? Getting a purse, get some shoes. But with kids are very, there's a lot of maintenance to children. So I'm glad that people that have kids are able to get that because you're balancing a lot of shit all the time.
Tracy, explain to us about that unemployment scam. Because Baby Hayes thinking the same thing I was. Child, tell me, what's the tea on that?
Okay, so I'm not going to tell y'all that I don't love my neighbors. I love my neighbors. But let me tell you what they were doing. Auntie MoMo, they was getting... Auntie MoMo, they was getting people that you work with to file for unemployment, and they was getting the check, giving them a piece of the check and taking the money.
Tracy, shut up.
Swear to
you serious?
I swear to you. I swear to you.
Shut up. How?
Exactly how? How you let your own people and everybody down and you gonna capitalize on how?
What?
Let me tell you. Because due to the panorama, they loosened up the rules for unemployment and was given that additional $600 a week. And they loosened the rules. So because they were being so flooded and inundated with unemployment claims, they weren't really going to your employer and verifying like they should have been that you actually worked for them and you were laid off due to the panoramic.
No.
Yes.
That is
People were saying it was trying to get the action. That's crazy.
And they're about to be on everybody's head for them taxes. They're gonna be on your tail.
Yep. Sure is. And I was like,
yeah.
So you know, I was like, how are you gonna get the money back from the homeless people? Like, how is that supposed to work?
That is crazy.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm not gonna tell you that my neighbors, that my neighbor's nephew was going to the homeless shelter.
I ain't want to
signing people up. Look, and signing people up for unemployment.
When
I tell you,
yes, that's what I thought. You get the homeless shelter. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Quick question before we move on to the next topic. With the Child Credit Act, is they still doing the thing that say you marry? Is it gonna give to one parent or they give to each parent? Because usually it's like if one parent claims the child, that person get that money for that child. So
I would think it would be whomever is. There you go. I would think.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, Auntie. When I dropped off, Tracy was saying they was going to the homeless shelter to sign people up for them things.
Yes.
Wait, how abusive? What the fuck?
I'm just telling you what's happening.
Damn shame.
Okay. I'm just telling you what's happening.
Yeah, we got an echo.
We got an echo.
I also work for. I work in HR, so we're getting the things just like, hey, can you verify the unemployment status for this? And I'm like, that's not a company.
Oh my
That is
Lord.
a person. That is a social, but that's not a company. Y'all gonna have to figure it out. So when I tell you they about to start coming down hard, and that's one thing about the government I think people don't realize is it takes them a while to actually start to verify something. Because they're asking us to verify unemployment claims from 2019. They're just now getting to unemployment claims from 2019. They're very slow. But
right now.
They want their money immediately. They want their money back immediately.
Immediately.
Immediately. So what I would say is there is like levels to this. So for this for this child tax credit, right? So if you guys started a new job in 2020, if you looked at it, you got like a new W-4 form. The W-4 form is not the original form everybody used to fill out. Where you could be like, oh, I'm gonna claim 1, I'm gonna claim 2, I'm gonna claim 7. Oh no, it ain't like that no more. You have to literally tell them how much money you want them to take, and you better hope that you pick the right amount when tax time rolls around. It's a very convoluted process that they did, but in doing that, they got rid of the child tax credit. They got rid of it when they made this form.
Like if you have a regular job and I apply as an independent contractor for like my journalism and stuff, but I have a regular job, you have to apply all that paperwork.
Yep.
Because you're gonna try to group it into like your regular taxes as my government name. And no, I'm working different. I'm working for them, but I work for myself. You get what I'm saying? So the taxes are different. And people aren't understanding that. So if you're conducting a whole business, you're going to have to show paperwork, bro.
It's a whole. They have.
Who is getting paid? Y'all both married and claiming it. That's my question was.
So the payment goes to So if you're married filing jointly, the payment is for the one or however many kids you got, and it's going into whatever account that it did when you filed, but it's only per child.
Getting it on one?
No, just one. Just whoever claimed the child.
Like with me and my husband, we filed married filing jointly, and I filed it through mine. So when we got our stimulus and we got our income tax back, it came back on my account. So the same thing, since I filed it through, then it'll come on whomever the spouse was that filed.
Yep.
Okay.
You just got to be nice enough to share that shit with them.
Listen. Did you know there's So listen. So you know how there's a limit to how many? All right. So my niece has 7 kids, right? So there's a limit to how many kids you can claim and get money back for. So she has her mother filing 2 of her kids and stuff like that. So now her mom is about to get this payment.
Can I borrow one of her kids?
Okay.
She got a whole litter, I'm telling y'all. But listen, her and her mama beefing. They not talking right now. So she's trying to figure out how she's gonna get her money. I was like, girl, you should have thought about that before. But you should have thought about that before. You called your mama all types of names. I mean, you'll probably get your money eventually. I don't know.
Yeah. The crazy part is about what you're going to do with the money. You get all that money, but are you going to be responsible with it, or are you just going to fuck it off?
Thank you.
Well, I just told you my neighbor's having a whole block party, so I'm going to go with no, they not, because they ignorant. My neighbor's having a whole block party. They got porta potties.
They got porta potties, son.
It's like some niggas. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Now, moving right along, Bill Cosby has been released from prison, y'all. Now, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned his conviction, stating that he should have never been criminally prosecuted based on an agreement that was made with former Montgomery DA Bruce Castor. So something else that I read earlier today, his family is actually looking to sue the state for even locking him up in the first doggone place, because they're saying that they abuse, basically, I guess something like abuse their power or something like that, knowing that there was an agreement set in place. So he's been set free from prison, right? Now, who said this? Was it Funky Dineva that said this? Somebody said, this to me is like the OJ case, right? We know OJ killed that white woman and that man, but they're just gonna let him go free for whatever goddamn reason. They didn't have enough evidence. The same thing I feel like with Bill Cosby. Like, this nigga is guilty. He did what he did. And the fact that he made an agreement with a former DA saying that he would not be criminally prosecuted for shit that he said, I don't see why a lot of people are rejoicing in him getting out. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am happy that, his constitutional rights were upheld, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that nigga was guilty. And Felicia Rashad, she caught a lot of goddamn backlash because she made a goddamn statement saying something, what does it say? A terrible wrong is being righted. A miscarriage of injustice is corrected. Which how everybody and they mama started coming for goddamn Felicia Rashad after she said that. I feel like she should have just set that one out, good sis. I don't think she should have said a doggone thing about it. Mizzle, I'm gonna start with you. What are your thoughts on him being released and backdoor wanting to sue the state for even locking him up in the first place, knowing that his ass is still guilty? And then he already paid off another woman from prior now. Let's not forget that. So they got receipts out there in the world that the nigga done did what he did. What are your thoughts on that, Mizzle? Do you feel like he should still be locked up, be on house arrest, parole, or something?
Okay. Oh, that's echoing somewhere. I feel that it's different things as that was playing here. People think because someone get released, they was innocent. No, it was a plea deal that was put on place. And people understand that plea deal means that you have to admit guilt before you get the thing and whatever agreement they give it to you. So you knew that you did this thing and you have to admit that. That's what plea deals is. They don't give you a plea deal to say, oh, well, I'm innocent. They will give me a deal. I mean, unless they can't find a way to prove it, they go to the plea deal, but you still got to say, all right, I go admit some wrong and some wrongdoing to get this deal. That's what it is. So it doesn't mean that he was completely innocent. No, he did that. He did what he did. And it is sexual assault. Whether you say, oh, back in the day, we always doing this or something like that, they asked me to do it. Once you take away the ability for them to consent, you have sexual assault to them. So yes, we all grew up watching the Cosby and stuff like that. He was an actor. It doesn't matter. The actor is not the same person as the person who was doing these things. So like that. It's the same person, but what we saw was a TV character. It's not the person we know in real life. So he did that. So he may claim that he never admitted anything, but he did admit something. That's something he had to do. He had to admit some guilt to him and get the plea deal. There won't be no plea deal in the first place. So he did what he did. So like that. So I feel that the only way he got out, like you said, was the technicality. And that's the only misjustice that was done, because he shouldn't have got charged of that because it was a deal. He shouldn't have went to jail. So in the aspect of when he said he was suing, it's Bill Cosby's right to sue because it was something that was offered that it shouldn't have been done. And this was done. So yes, he's guilty on that aspect, but him suing is his right because they did it wrong. They shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have got sentenced because it was a plea deal set in place. So it was the court system fault, the DA, and then they tracked that 2 years later. Because this happened in 2015? No, 2015, right?
2005.
2005. Yeah, this happened 2005. We in 2021 now. So after all these years, there's something that was given to him that was that, and now they put that up now to say that this happened. So I say that he was not innocent. He's not innocent. He's guilty. He did what he did. I believe what he did with that. He did that. Not all 58 women is lying. Maybe some, but not all of them. He did it, and it's sexual assault. Now, for him suing, it's his right because they mishandled that. They shouldn't have done that. And that was messed up. Now, in regards to Felicia Rashad, when she made that statement, it came across that it made it seem like, oh, he never did it, so he was always innocent, and that's that. That doesn't mean. Well, I took that statement that she was only talking the fact of that people mishandled that thing because it was a deal in place, and they mishandled it. So it was a mishandle of justice, what she was saying. Now, maybe she could have worded it best on this. She said not to go against anybody who has been a victim of the sexual assault, anything. But a light was wrong because something that happened in the court system. That would have been okay. People probably would have been upset about it. But the fact that she admit that and she didn't know, that's what she realized afterwards. She's apologized, say, not against the people who has been sexual assaulted, is that I do advocate for people to speak their mind and have their truth. And now she's taking courses, and the Howard University is not firing her. They is saying that her personal opinion doesn't reflect the personal opinions of the university, and she apologized numerous times because it did came across as saying that, oh well, all the ladies like that. It came across like that. Doesn't mean that she mean that. It just kind of came across how she's worded it. So it was kind of insensitive based on people's eyes who reading that, because emotion was high. So it was like maybe she should have given credit to say something about the survivors and say, not taking away from the survivors being sexually assaulted, because it's their right, and you cannot say their story is completely wrong because you support this guy. Now her experience with Bill Cosby is maybe different from the experience that these ladies had. So like that, it might be a positive one that she had with him. So I care for her for supporting him. But like, it was an injustice that happened, that it was got out of technicality because something that shouldn't have been done in the first place. So that was the mess screw up of this court system. And that was that. And maybe she was saying in that regards. But to not acknowledge the survivors, that probably made other people upset. Like I said, I don't think that was her intent, and that's what she apologized. But that would have came across. So maybe she realized that next time when she went to say something like that, especially with something delicate like this, maybe cover your whole behind a basis, or don't say anything at all and just support him in private. So that's my thing on it. It's like, he's still guilty. Doesn't mean he's innocent, that because he got out. It was just as a mess up of the court system that got him out. That shouldn't have never happened in the first place. So that's why. Yeah, like I said, he could still sue. So that's to say his right to sue because what they did.
I'm muted. Hi, Tracy. What's your thoughts on it?
I have mixed feelings on Bill. Should he be in jail for what he did to those women? Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I do that too. So.
But because of the way they did it and they went about getting it, they was wrong. So he has every right to sue them. He has every right to get his money back. He has every right to do all of those things, because you can't twist the law to benefit you. And I think the piece that people are missing is, okay, so this happened in 2003. She made her report in 2004. They tried to charge him in 2005. He had a mistrial. They said, we don't have enough evidence to convict him. So if you do this deposition, then we'll do a civil case and we won't go after you criminally. So the only reason we have any of these statements of Bill explaining what he did and what he had going on was because he did that deposition to say, because he could have done like most people do in depositions and just plead the fifth. He could have just said, oh, I'm gonna plead the fifth. Like, nope. But because it was given to him saying, we won't criminally go after you, because they tried and was unsuccessful going after him. They tried, couldn't. So then it turned into, okay, well, do this deposition, pay this settlement, and be done with it. I think where I have the hard time is they waited 10 years and a new DA came in and decided, oh yeah, I know we said we weren't going to try him, but we actually are. And then they went about this knowing that there was a deal in place, knowing that they only got this evidence because of the deal that they had, and ran with it. So my thought is, he has a really great legal team that he could afford to pay for, who knew what to find and what to do, and had been trying to get the case tossed out because of this the whole time. What about Joe Schmo, who can't afford a really great legal team, who they're doing this to, and they're using like the ends justify the means, so it's okay kind of tactics. Like, there needs to be some level of accountability and saying you can't just twist things to get what you want out of people. Like,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Tracy. Go ahead, boo.
No. So that was my thing. It's like, I don't like the way they went about doing this, because it's just wrong.
Yeah.
Do you Delilah's question, I'm confused. Do they have any facts and evidence to these accusations, though? That's been my question from the get-go. Because
no,
it just seems like
no.
not he say, she say. It just seems like a bunch of women that have the same similar stories, but like no actual video evidence, no actual DNA or nothing like that. And then, like you said, no, you didn't say, somebody else said this, like these women waited 20, 30, 40 years to now come forth and say something about it. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I don't, and I'm not discrediting none of these females, was like 75, 70 something. I'm not discrediting none of them whatsoever. But if we keeping it real, if there's 75 accusers, at least 5 of them heifers ain't telling the truth.
Yeah,
at
at
least 5 of these heifers ain't telling the truth. And then on top of that, I had my question, but I lost it. When you said that he had talked with the lawyer or whatnot, and he had already said what he had said, and then that's why they wanted to backdoor and pick up the trial for that. How could they have done that? Like, did the original DA that made that decision, did that fool die? Or like, did he retire? Like, how
he retired?
So, but even still, like, his word don't hold nothing?
So, no, they just ignored it. So, all right. So this is what happened in 2000. So in 2004, so the lady reported it in 2004. In 2005, they tried Bill Cosby. He had a trial.
Yeah.
It was a mistrial.
Mistrial.
I remember
they didn't have enough evidence because it was all he said, she said, there was, when it happened, they didn't have any concrete evidence of it. So again, it then went to a mistrial. The DA at the time then sat down with Bill Cosby and his lawyer and said, we are now going to go after you civilly. So we're going to do a civil case. We'll do a civil deposition. If you allocute to everything that happened and answer every question that we give you, we will not go after you criminally.
Yes.
So that was the thing. And that's why when he did his deposition, he didn't just plead the fifth to everything the way normal people do in depositions. Because that's self-incrimination. That's my Fifth Amendment. That's my Fifth Amendment right there. I just feel like, absolutely not. But he did it because he was aware this wouldn't go after me criminally. I'll pay. Look. The judge is going to set whatever amount that needs to be paid. He had the money. It wasn't like he was struggling for money. He was like, I'll pay it and just be done with it, is what Bill thought in his mind. And that's what made sense. So again, and at the time, it was just a one woman. Now, where things for me get a little uneasy, and I sometimes struggle with, is I understand, because if you listen to his deposition, what he said was, she said she wanted to take it. I went and got it. I gave it to her, and she took it herself. I didn't slip it in her. I didn't force her to. She said she wanted to take it. I gave it to her. She took it. So to him, that's why he stands on this thing of, I didn't do this because she chose to take it. She took it herself. She could have said no. She could have walked away. She did it like she wanted to do it. So that was the thing that they got out of the deposition with him saying, yeah, I gave her this drug. She took it. And then, all the other stuff that happened. So for me, it's like, I know people who like to get real, real high or real, real drunk and do it with their partner. Like, do I then say that y'all two did something wrong to each other? Like, I don't feel right calling that, because if y'all are both consenting adults, right? I understand the law says once you get too high, you can't consent. But if me and my partner choose to get high as a kite and do it, does that then just give me the right to say, oh, I was this? Because that's like saying two crackheads could never sleep with each other.
That's true.
They high all the time. Like, they high as a kite all the time. So that's where, to me, it gets a little tricky, because I'm like, I think it makes me uncomfortable. Like, because he didn't take it and she did, I'm like, that's where the off piece is. If they both would have took it and got that high, I think I would feel differently about it because we both was high out of our minds and did whatever. So for me, they didn't have enough evidence to try him. They knew they didn't have it. They did this deposition. And then what happened, why they came back all these years later to try him, was two things. One, the statute of limitation was running out for the case for them to be able to try. And two, the DA wrote up the documentation, signed the documentation, but never sent it to the court to file it. So it was all internal in the DA's office. Everyone in the DA office knew it. His supervisor knew it. They all signed off on it, but they never formally sent the paperwork into the court.
Wow.
So that's why the new DA was like, well, they never filed with the court, so it doesn't matter. And that's why his original judge in the trial said, oh, they didn't file it, we can let it go in. And so then that's when the Supreme Court said, no, you can't write a deal. You sign it, I sign it, the bosses sign it, everybody's agreed to it. And then you don't do your job and file it. And then it's now my fault.
Wow.
So that's kind of where the new DA was, where they knew about it, but they was like, oh, they never filed it with the court, so it doesn't matter. Let's try him. So I was like, that's what that is. So do I feel bad? I do. I feel bad for all the victims, but I don't think I feel bad for the original victims though. Like the other ones I do, but not the heifer who did it, because she was the one who had this civil case and she knew that he wouldn't be tried criminally. So she knew that because she had to agree to it before they decided whether they was going to try him a second time. So she knew this and said, oh no, let's just go for this civil case and give me my money.
Yeah.
So, I don't feel bad for her. For that one, I don't feel bad for that one. Like, not her.
Yeah, so Dahlia, yeah, it's true. It is an incident who guilty, especially if you handle evidence. Yes, like Tracy said, they handle evidence. But that because something happened, if they don't have evidence, they know something, for something that happened, but they don't have evidence. That's why usually people give these deals to say, you know what, if you admit the guilt, if you admit something that's happening, we could do this and we won't criminally charge you. So that's exactly what happened in this. They know something happened, and it's like because they had no evidence and stuff like that. So let's give this deal. You got to admit guiltiness, but it won't be no guilt if he admit nothing. So like a Trace said, if he didn't say nothing, he said no, I'm innocent. Then what can they do? It would be no deal. It would still probably try and work something out, try to still investigate and more and see them. But it's just a last test of invitation. They would say, you know what, let's give this happen. You admit it, we won't charge you. Since he said, you know what? You say, you know what? Let's do it. And he say, okay, fine. I'll say it, but I won't go to jail. And they want to get their word.
You know, they get that happens a lot when people have so let's say it was a murder trial and I have murdered 5 people. You know I did those second 2, but you can't quite prove it. So
that you did the first one.
Yeah, I did the first. They know I did the first one, right? But they're not sure about that second and third. They're like, I think you probably did. That's your MO. It looked like you, but I can't quite prove it. And then what they'll do is they'll allocate me. I'll say, yeah, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'll get my time. Boom. That then doesn't mean that the family of 2 and 3 can now come after me again to say, oh, they just admitted that they did this. Go like, nah, that's done.
Yeah.
That's done. That's done. So I think because it's this type of case, it's assault. People are like, it doesn't matter. Just send them back to jail. And I'm like, but it does matter because what if that was Pookie or Ray Ray? Like, Pookie or Ray Ray done popped a few people. They lied and told them this and did that, and now what? Like, you'll feel a little differently. Like, I get it because it's assault victims where it's like, oh no. But I agree with Bill. Sue them, get your money, get all your money. get every dime of your money.
So, question: they can't go back and convict him on none of this now, can they?
Nope, not at all. Double jeopardy does apply.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, shit. If we ain't learned nothing else, we know don't drink shit from Bill House. That nigga line of switch. You line to think you getting some Sprite and wake up with your drawers around your neck or something. Don't know what the hell going on. Send your ass home with dry pockets and wet coochies, like old folks used to say, child. All right, y'all. Moving right along, girl. We are gonna get into. Did y'all catch the BET Awards last weekend? I wanted to show y'all this, if I can even get this sucker to play. Did y'all catch the BET Awards? Who was y'all's favorite from the awards? Okay. First off.
So I was like, I was telling Tracy earlier today, it's like, and I tell people, lately, I don't watch the award show because it hasn't been like it used to be. When I was growing up in the 90s, early 2000s, award shows used to be the popular. Like, you was waiting for that. There's a lot of artists you like. It
perform. They don't dance and all of that. Like, they're not dancers. I'm not expecting them. But vocally, they performed. Her, she came with her instrument. She performed. Yep. So I don't need you to be a dancer to technically be a performer. I need you to do what you do for your craft and do it well. Heffa, you remade a song from the 60s and you can't dance? Oh no, boo-boo.
You know what I felt like with the City Girls? I felt like they were trying to be too cute.
Yes,
they were too cute.
More cute than woman.
No, I think the two heifers really different. Donna stuck her old wrinkly tongue in folks' mouth, and everybody was cool with that. That was me. Yeah. Everybody wasn't horrible. So I was like, oh, so the people who are trash naturally was having mic issues? Is that what you're telling me? Oh, okay. You blaming the mic. Oh, you blaming the mic?
No, I would say
the mic worked just fine for Jasmine.
It was overall was low. Even people performances that was really good. So it was like you could hardly hear them. But I enjoyed a lot of some of the performances. I enjoyed, not all of them. I ain't like it.
Hopefully, is the Hip Hop Awards still coming on? Because the Hip Hop Awards are always good. The BET Hip Hop Awards, them are always bumping. They're my favorite ones to watch, more than the Soul Train. I mean, not the Soul Train, than the regular BET Awards. The hip hop ones are always off the chain, y'all. But anyways, now that we know that, well, I didn't know that Nas was as much of a troll as he is, Lil Nas X, because all I heard is, all I follow him by is the Old Town Road and the Bloody Sneakers, and that's it. Other than that, I'm not no Nas fan. I ain't got nothing against you, Lil Nas X. Don't come for me because I ain't sent for you, baby. But it is what it is, y'all. Moving right along, y'all, we are going to quickly talk about this classy clapback that Miss Tabitha Brown, a.k.a. Tabbage Patch, a.k.a. the vegan soul queen, gave Miss Wendy Williams. Now, Miss Wendy Williams was on her show, and y'all know Wendy is messy as hell. She always sort of stepping out of line and saying shit that she shouldn't say. Well, about a week or so, however long ago, Tab put out a post on her IG saying that she is retiring her husband after 15 years. He had been working on the police force, and she is retiring him so that he can go forth and pursue his own dreams, right? Now, Wendy felt the need, for whatever reason, now mind you, you in your own little fucked up situation that you got going on your damn self. Wendy felt the need to speak on Tab's marriage, saying that she can foresee it as being on shaky ground. Well, baby, when I tell you Miss Tab Brown came up with she clapped back with the nicest, sweetest, bless you bitch in Jesus' name, clap back. Now, I'm not going to play all of it because it's about 5 minutes long, but I'm going to just play this real quick so y'all can hear how she read Miss Wendy Williams' child.
I'm excited about that. I pray that somebody finds you, love finds you, that excites you the way I am excited about my husband being able to grow his business, being able to pour into children, continue to coach these kids, do other things.
Now, I had to weigh in on this one. When a woman like Miss Tabitha Brown exists, and not only does she exist, but she's an influencer just like myself, and knowing that her husband was willing to sacrifice and put himself in a position and a job that was not really a safe job, just so that his wife could fulfill her purpose. I think it's a beautiful thing to see that now it's his turn. and that they had that type of agreement. Now I'm wondering if a man did the same thing, see the same type of praise.
What y'all think about what he said?
If the man does it for the woman,
If it was flipped, would somebody have something to say if a man is like, honey, I'm retiring you, you don't have to work, you can go on and pursue your dreams and your career and all this, that, and the other. That's true. It can be a little bit of a double standard. But Wendy Williams, like I said, I like Wendy, but she's miserable and she's bitter. And the word on the curb is her ex, Kelvin, just got married to the mistress. So she really hurt over that. But after Wendy said that, baby, I was one of those people too that went to Wendy's comment section and threw little avocados in the comment section. Just to let her know, bitch, don't come for this Tab Brown because she ain't sent for you. But what do y'all think about the way Tab clapped back at Miss Wendy Williams?
Okay, so to answer that guy question, if it was being something where people would have issue if the man said he retired a woman. Because most society feel like the man should take care of women, whatever, so like that. So I would say, oh, that's a commendable thing. Oh, it's all great, it's good like that. But at the same time, I saw all positive reviews for what she's doing for her husband too. It's like, because it was agreement, it's a successful marriage. Now, the problem is, and I see a lot of that, is Wendy Williams. It wasn't so much of what she was saying and the husband, it's Wendy Williams, because the fact that you project your own marriage and think that it was going to happen to Tabitha marriage is messed up. They've been together for a long time. Tabitha and Chance been together for a long time, like 20-something years.
23.
A lot of long time. They moved to LA. She said her story. I read the thing when she told about the retirement. She gave her little background story. They moved to LA. Nothing. I guess they named just themselves. No family there, none of that. Just by themselves. They was working a little odd job. She was working in ACs. He was working something else, pre-med. And then he decided to work in the LA force, which his life is in the West. So she said, give me 5 years. It's because she went acting. Now it went to longer than 5 years, it went 15 years. So it's like, okay, 15 years that she told him. And it still took him a year before he decided, let me retire. Because he said, he was like, that's part of his identity. That was part of him. Mm-hmm. He was able to be safe all this time, even though it was a dangerous police force in the neighborhood environment that he was in. He was able to do this. So now he could pursue his own dreams and stuff like that. So the fact that he took upon himself, he said, you know what? We need to have a stated income, no matter what I feel, to have, so you can support your dream. And she said, you know what? I got you. It's a partnership. That's what it is. So now she's able to say, you know what? 15 years later, I make enough money and we could sustain and you could retire. Doesn't mean that he can't make any more money afterwards. He just that he's retiring for force. Yeah. So when did it say that, it's going to happen to her? I said, matter of fact, you took a street guy, made him your manager, all that stuff, and you think that was going to be okay? It's like, it could work out, but it didn't work out for you. So don't think like because she retired her husband that he's going to take advantage, just like that. She didn't hire him as a manager. She just said that she returned a favor, something that he sacrificed for himself to make sure she set her dream, and now she's doing the same thing for her husband. That would make a successful marriage, right? You want a partner like that. So why you would think that it was going to work out badly for her, that you automatically reject, because she was looking at her own situation. She said, it's not going to work. It was agreement. So it took longer than 5 years, but it was agreement. So people was clapping at Wendy for it. I said, girl, yes, you messy, but that was a messed up message for the put out there to make sure that it go down somebody else's marriages that was not yours.
Right.
Leave it. That was stupid. So people was offended for Wendy for that. So it was a well-known voice. It was the same thing. If she was in the force for 15 years and he decided to retire her, it was the same thing. It was a partnership. It was a marriage, a successful marriage that lasts long. That's something that we want to aspire to have. Most of us will die without even having that love and that appreciation, that partner to have that. So Wendy, shut up and sit down, because this was not the avenue you should have talked on.
Yep, she should have set this one out. And I agree. It's almost like she's wishing her situation onto other people's relationships. I totally agree. She's projecting. She projecting her own insecurities, her own hate, her own bitterness, her own all of that. Tracy, what did you think about the clapback?
I don't know this woman. I'm not vegan, so I don't follow this woman. So
Girl,
when I see the thing,
you don't have to be vegan to follow Tab Brown. She is just a beautiful spirit.
So I knew nothing about her. So
Mm-hmm.
nothing about her at all. So when I started seeing the thing, I was like, well, who the heck is she? Because I was like, oh, she's an influencer. She does this, and it was like, oh, she's coming out with like some McCormick Sunshine seasoning, and I was like, oh, okay, that's different. So when I went and seen the thing, I was like, so she has a successful marriage? You mean a traditional successful marriage? Her husband supported her all these years so she could follow her dreams, and now she's eligible to do the same thing for him. Yep. You know, like what successful, normal, traditional marriages are. That's what that is. You support your spouse so that they can follow their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a problem. I was like,
thank you.
I was like, I don't see the problem. I was like, this is again Wendy being messy, because Wendy is a messy. Okay. But then when I see all them doggone little avocados all over the place, baby, I hollered. I was like, I didn't realize that was like her little thing. Baby, the comment section was nothing but I hollered.
I went and dropped about 50 avocados in that comment section too. About 50 of them hoes. Clapping hands, avocado. Clapping hands, avocado. Clapping hands.
And it's already like, I was like, she is very sweet. She was like, oh, I'm gonna pray for you, and I hope you find love. And you just
listen.
I was like, that is very sweet of her. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy this little sunshine seasoning from McCormick. I like McCormick. I'm just gonna buy this little sunshine seasoning. I like McCormick. I don't know nothing about this lady, but that was hilarious to me, baby. All this dang on avocado.
Look, the nicest, nastiest thing you can say to anybody that's gonna piss them off is "God bless you."
Yes.
Oh, baby, God bless
you. With that, I was like, oh yeah. When she started with that, she knew she was gonna go in a classy way. I said, when everybody said "bless your heart," God bless you, they gonna go in.
No. That is how you clear bitch and you check her in Jesus' name. Baby, God bless you. Oh, the pain you must feel, baby. God bless you. I wouldn't even know how to clap back from that. I'd be like, you know what? I'm just going to walk the hell away, because you can't say nothing. You can't fight with God. Once they throw God at you, you won. That's it. That's all. You got all of that. But if you watch Wendy Williams, what was on Thursday and Friday, she didn't bring this up at all.
Nope.
She didn't even mention this at all. Never once mentioned it.
Because she does usually clap back, and she did not clap back, and she was like, because she knew that she should have spoke ill to my marriage at all.
No, especially when your shit is public out there. Your ex-husband and his mistress have publicly clowned you. Publicly, so for you to even speak or feel that you have the right to speak on anybody's marriage is beyond me. That's crazy as hell. But hopefully, like Miss Tab Brown say, oh, Wendy, the pain you must feel. Hopefully, God will bless you one day with somebody that'll make you happy to where you ain't got to be a bitter bitch for all the rest of your life.
And my own thing is this, that clip that Wendy showed on her show, she probably took that part of it, because if you listen to the whole clip, she explained her story. That was like, okay, we understand why this is happening. So the fact that you took that little part and it said that, oh, she retired with her husband, no, it's not gonna work out. I said, girl, you didn't even search. You didn't even look at it. Because I didn't know Tabitha Brown like that either, like Tracy. I wasn't following her like that. But when I sit there and listen to her little clips that she had, I could tell she had a good spirit, and she looked like she had a good marriage with her husband. So it was like,
Child, like I said, hopefully Wendy done learned the lesson from this, and that's to keep your goddamn mouth closed. Don't throw stones at a glass house, bitch. I'm just saying, because your relationship is all the way messed up and everybody knows about it, child. Moving right along. Next thing we're going to get into, I think I just seen something. Brittany said, wait, are we allowed to join the stream? As long as you come up here respectful, don't be flashing no dicks, because we got a whole lot of dick flashes that be coming up. Be coming up in the background on people's stuff. But yeah, you want to come add your 2 cents, child? Auntie don't mind at all. Just come on here, be respectful of the panty list of folks we got up here. Sha'carri Richardson, y'all. This last thing we finna get into for the real talk topic is the Olympics low-key racist, okay? Now, y'all already know it's been all over the news. Sha'carri Richardson, is it Richardson or Robinson? Richardson. She has been, she's on a suspension until July 27th for marijuana showing up positive in her system. Mind you, it wasn't no human growth hormones. It wasn't no steroids. It wasn't no heroin. It wasn't no meth. It wasn't nothing like that. Little bit of the devil's lettuce, okay? And they are banning her, or basically putting her on suspension. Now, they were actually going to ban her from participating altogether, but I think a lot of people came in and they rallied for her, not just, you know, fans or whatnot, but a lot of celebrities came through and band together. And she's been placed on a suspension, like I said, till the 27th, which they're saying is just right on time for her to still be able to get back into the Olympics and do what she got to do, right? Now, if y'all don't know, y'all know her mother passed away a week before she actually went on this race and she ran it. I don't think her and her mother had a close relationship. She was mostly with her grandmother. And so for anybody who lost a parent, especially if you didn't have the type of relationship with your parent that you would have, you know, wished to have, I don't blame her for smoking a little weed just to kind of ease her mind and the pain that she was going through, right? So not only was it Sha'carri Richardson, that whole scandal about her, you know, not being able to perform, but also the Olympics just, now this right here to me this is racism right here. I don't give a damn what nobody say. The Tokyo Olympics, hold on, let me pull this screen up real quick. Oh, there goes Sir Neale. There you go. Hey, baby bro.
Hey.
I just hear straight gunshots.
I'm telling you, they're like blowing it. It's like it's not anymore. They're just blowing shit up.
Look at that. You hear my rig? People out there bugging out.
She said they bugging out.
I had to find a quiet space in the house. I'm like, let me find a corner because you can't go to any of the windows right now.
They're gonna blow that shit up. Tokyo Olympics are formally banning swimming caps for quote unquote afro hair. The official committee says elite athletes don't require caps of such size. I don't care what nobody say that is racism, that is discrimination, because us as Black women don't like to get our hair in that chlorine water and mess up our goddamn kinks and curls and coils and all that. That to me was another sort of aha to me that, okay, the Olympics is racist as hell. Because y'all remember when Michael Phelps had weed in his system, they didn't ban him from no doggone Olympics.
But they did something afterwards when they found out he got positive. So they took events. They did something towards him to take away titles, so like that. So they did something towards him after he ran, but they found out he got positive, and then they did something to take away. So he suffered consequences. But then he ended up, like, they overturned that some sort of way, and he ended up getting those medals back, because I remember that.
So Michael tested positive after his. So he was negative because apparently you get tested like during each of the qualifying matches and all of that stuff, and then before you race. So he was negative when he raced. He was negative. Now after at the little after party, he turned up. That's also when his buddy, had tore up that place and was blaming other folks. Yeah, that was all around the same time. So he partied after, got high after, which is why they was like, okay, we're going to yoink your medals but you got high. But even for him, it was, he had already raced and won and then got high after. So it's like, if I can't get high and celebrate after, they ain't gonna let you get high before. Like,
exactly. And I feel like I said, in Sha'Carri's defense, she just lost her mother and she got so much stress. I mean, speaking as a person who has lost their mother, you gonna try to do anything you can to ease that pain for at least temporary, just to be able to deal and put on a strong face and deal with the world. And just imagine being in her shoes. She's still in college. She's got all of the world's eyes looking at her to be this champion and all of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't see nothing wrong with her, and I don't feel like it's even right for them to have banned her while they waiting 30 days to see if it's out of her system completely, and then they're gonna test her again. Like what? I don't get it.
Yeah, she's gonna have to keep getting tested. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Okay.
I think that. Oh, sorry.
JW, yes. I guess people say that he did not test positive. He was seen in the picture, but it's still endorsements that he was qualified for. It was still like that. And a lot of people don't like to associate their things with a person who's. It depends on the company. So it's just more than that he tested positive. It's other stuff that it was qualified that he was associated with that make that show that they need to have some consequences because he was shown smoking weed. It's like that. So, and then I don't know the time period. Maybe could they say, Lord, you would still do after you won the race. It's still some legal way that we can still test you in your system after you won anyway. So that's part of the reason why they strip his titles and stuff like that because of that.
Like Miss America. You can't talk about
the biggest that people have to understand is that this wasn't in country sports. This is Olympics. This is international. So just because weed is legal in some states, not every state, doesn't mean it was legal in international race. And the WADA is the organization that oversees the Olympics, still have marijuana weed banned of the Olympics. So yes, it was infraction that she did that was going against the rules that she set up as a Olympic artist that was qualified for the Olympic international race. Whether we think that it's not a enhanced performance drug, it was still a banned substance. Now, can they overturn it if they want to do away with the thing? That's up to the WADA organization to take that off as a thing or something like that. So we have to understand that she's an athlete and she go by the rules. Just like Auntie MoMo, you are a nurse. And you probably getting your rules that you can't sleep with your patients, right? So you can't say, oh, you might say, oh, well, if I give a sob story, I say, well, I'm going through something, so I gotta sleep with someone. Right. It's like that. But you still know it's against your rules. It's some consequences going to happen if you get caught from breaking the rules. So as the athlete standpoint and as a person in your contract, no matter what, like correctional lieutenant and Ficker Love Lockup, she knew it was against the law to sleep with her inmate, but she still did it anyway. It was consequences. She could have said, well, I'm going through a lot of loss and turmoil right now. I have to sleep with someone. No, they don't care about that. Yeah. So as Olympics, yes, they may, because they said as a charge, you could go from a month to a year. So, and it's a case-by-case state basis. So maybe they did took a consideration or something like that. I don't know. They could be sensitive. They could have been sympathetic. It's yes, even though y'all said it's just weed, but at the same time, it's banned in the Olympics, y'all. We have to understand that. It's banned. So we gotta take our own personal stuff out of it. Just because we say it was weed, doesn't matter, it's still banned. Now, I know people smoke weed and they be fine. It's like that. Yes, we all know people smoke weed, it doesn't do anything, but it's still banned in the Olympics. So we have to take that consideration as that. Even her, she said it herself, y'all, and she's not upset about what's happening. She said she knew it was wrong. She still take it, and she will accept the consequences that follows from that. Now, I just hope that it's happy that Nike did not take away their endorsement for her. Okay, I guess
that's true.
Feel like she was able to be honest. She was able to take responsibility. She showed that, yes, I messed up. Next time I will do better. And the next time y'all will see me race and I will win this, whatever, so like that. So, yes. And maybe she could still, once like that, yes. So I do understand her personal life. I've taken that consideration too. I do understand. I'm not being insensitive to what happened. So I understand why she probably took to that to relieve her anxiety and depression, the sadness of losing her parent. But at the same time, she was still in a qualification for a race that used that substance as a banned substance. So you had to be responsible to also accept the accountability that may happen if you break the rules. So it's just like a financial banker, it's against the rules to steal people money.
Yeah.
You say that if I'm behind my rent for 6 months, so I'm taking people a little money here and there, It's like that. Yes, many people might feel far for you about losing, being behind rent or something, like you struggling, but you still can't take people money. So you have to understand that. So I feel for her. I do understand her pain and something like that. Maybe she should sit out to recover the loss, or maybe to recuperate her mental state, her emotional state of losing her parent at this time being. It's like that. But at the same time, the Olympics have to follow their rules. If it's just not just her, it's for anyone else as well. This guy raced it, and he still got stuff taken away from him after he raced. So it's not a black or white thing in this case. Yes, she lost some mother, so people were using that, and people had their own thing about weed. But at the same time, it's a banned substance. So if you go blame something, you have to blame the organization that have weed as a banned substance of the Olympics internationally.
I agree.
So
I see where you're coming from with that.
We had to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel for her, and she took a month, and next time she knows that something she can't do that, especially if you're gonna qualify for an international race. If it was within the state she's in and her state say it's legalized, then they can't use that, because a lot of in the NBA, I know a lot of NFL, NBA is not using legal weed as a ban or disqualifying them, or they can't hire them for the team as the way thing. A lot of jobs is taking away the weed as a job requirement, that you can't have that. If you test positive for weed, they're not going to disqualify you for the job. So that's statewide, but this is international. So we have to take that consideration, and that's what everybody was saying, because people was upset about the weed thing, but not upset about the Olympics rules,
right?
And stuff like that. And they use it. Oh, well, she just lost her mother. Yes, but a lot of people could use their top story to break rules too. So everybody go use a top story to break rules when they know they signed a contract for. That's what I'm saying. So that's my take on that. And then the Afro thing, I was like, if you go use them to race, and they have natural hair, so you have to come up with some caps for them to wear to race. So you saying that African people cannot race or swim or be something like that because they have caps. So you're gonna have something to protect their hair, or they say they can't swim. I ain't like that, because I said, what are you trying to say? They can't wear their own caps. So, or you gonna have a cap for them to swim, or you saying they can't swim at all, or they gotta cut their hair, they gotta change their hair. So what you trying to say?
And you know what? Everything Mizzle said was correct. You know what I'm saying? There's rules and regulations that you have to abide by. Like if you're a nurse, you work in the hospital, you have to wear scrubs, safe shoes. You know, you have to have shoes that you can't slip and fall if you even work at McDonald's. And you know, and I just think it's unfortunate that she is under this scrutiny over a simple thing as fucking marijuana, and these motherfuckers been doing steroids forever, like real life, you know, and they got lesser charges.
Exactly.
So it's I don't know. It's very unfortunate, you know, and we haven't had an athlete like that in a long time. So again, black people are like, yeah, let's get it, let's go, you know. So that's what it is.
Listen,
So yeah.
I'm gonna mute you real quick, because you echoing a little bit.
Sorry.
No, all right, boo. The reason why I sort of felt like, and again, I be in my whole conspiracy theorist head sometimes. The reason why I was thinking like, well, maybe what if this is some sort of setup? Because you know they was already coming at her sideways for her having lashes and the nails and the hair and the lace front and all that. Which you remember they tried to get the same crap to FloJo for doing that, and it's still, in my opinion, the baddest bitch to ever step on a doggone track. But like I said, me just being in my head with my old conspiracies and stuff like that, I'm like, maybe what if this is actually some sort of way for, you know what I'm saying, for somebody else to sort of get in there and take that spot and qualify above her. If we can have something on her to get her out so that way she can't race because we already don't like her black ass. You know, maybe this is what we can do. I don't know. Again, like I said, that's just me in my own head.
No, do you know what? My partner's best friend is Asian, and we were discussing about it, and he said that Asian people believe that black people's hair is heavy, like it's going to weigh them down.
What?
So to take away their advantage, they would want their hair to weigh them down. That came from an Asian's mouth.
Wow.
No disrespect. They like your big lips make you float. Your breasts make you buoyant. There's a lot of questionable
Wow.
things that where there's a lot of things in between.
Can they do that though? Like that's outright discrimination. That's
No,
not
just like
right.
Mizzle said, that's their jurisdiction, that's their area, so they can abide by any
That's right,
rules
because it's in
that they set
Tokyo.
in their. Yeah, so we can't do
Wow.
much. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it could be possible it's racial motivated, but I think they just go by the rules in the international state, like that. Now, if we see a pattern of them targeting maybe only black people and not banning other people from racist stuff, then we could probably say that. But I think in this case, it just a something thing that it was against the rules and it happened. And it's like that.
Yeah.
Another thing happened as well. Nike could took their endorsement deals as well.
That's true.
Because Nike backed her up. It was bullcrap. No, Nike backed her because they took their own consideration. Say, you know what, we could work with her. We good. She said sorry, things like that. But the other truth could happen. They could have said, oh no, we take it away. So we got to keep that name. Just because Nike backed up doesn't mean that they say that it was bullcrap. No, because they took with deals from other people as well who had this similar situation. So it's like I say, it's all by case basis. All right, sorry, Tracy.
Oh, you good? My dog keep jumping on me because he's scared to death. Yeah, and he keep knocking me out because he up here losing his dog on mine.
Funny.
But I will say this: I agree that unfortunately, what's that old statement? You do the crime, you gotta do the time.
Yeah.
Look, she out of her own mouth say, I knew it was illegal. I still did it. She's not mad, so I'm not mad. Again, I believe in accountability. You take, whatever consequences come with your actions. You have to take them and eat them. It was something that she was willing to risk for her mental health. Okay, fine. I let her have that. What is it? It's gonna be what, 2025? She's young. She'll race again. She based on her track record, she'll make it to the Olympic Games again. So when it comes to that, I just feel like we as a society are really stepping away from accountability. And everyone's like, oh, but just let them do it. And I'm like, but where's the accountability when you know something is wrong, you do it anyway. And then you say, oh, but no, it's the accountability piece for me. So I appreciate that she said, I knew it, I did it anyway, and she took ownership of it. Now, when it comes to them swim caps, though, I'm going to tell you what I think. I think them little Asian folks said, we lose at everything. We come in third place. We're losers. And we refuse to let y'all break any sort of, or even come close to bending a rule. Listen, they said they're going to dot every T and they're going to dot every I and cross every T. They're going to be ready. They said, oh, no. That's not what the rules say. Y'all can't do this. I'm going to look at each and every rule microscopically because they said they trying to get rid of as many of us as they possibly can because they want to win. So when it comes to the swim caps, they losers. They mad. They hating.
And you know what? Just like what Miss Cece says, nothing personal, but we Black folks have to do better. We are not above the rules. And Mizzle, I appreciate you breaking it down the way that you did, because I'm not even gonna lie. I just seen it's just a little bit of weed. That girl is grieving. She going through something. What if it was you? That's not fair. But when you broke it down like that, that is true. She knows what she signed up for. She knows what she is and is not supposed to do. Can they drink alcohol? Like she can go and get drunk, or maybe smoke a hookah or something like that instead.
As long as not against the WADA organization that oversees the National Olympics at this time, then it would have been fine. But if it's against it, then that's test for it. Now I don't know how to test for alcohol, but they could test for alcohol, never mind. But I don't know.
Alcohol leaves the system within like 24 hours though. So yeah.
But I would say if it gets those substance, then she had to not to scream that. And it's, I don't know if it's like a set time they went on tests. Yeah, I think you hear the fireworks on my thing. So I
thought it was mine. It's mine too. Shit, like a machine gun.
I would say yes, we have to do that, and it's just something like I said. Someone responsibility is another person accountability. So the organization responsible to testing people, it was held accountable to be held accountable to her actions. Mm-hmm. So they're responsible for what they did. They test, they ban, they did they work because they would have let her pass. And if somebody want to find out, say, oh, well, she was drinking, smoking, and stuff like that, they would have been on them. And they would say, they're going to have a whole case of stuff like that. They said, oh, so no, we ain't having that because you let this person know. So they cover their behinds. But if we had to be held accountable, like Ms. CC said, that sometimes we tend to say people because we like them or we for our own, they don't have to be responsible. They're like that. And not just the white people do the same for their own race, Spanish do the same for their own race, Asian do the own race. We all in each ethnic group does it and say, oh, no, not like that. Is this what it is? No, they don't have to be held responsible. But if we don't teach our kids to held responsible and held accountable for something they action, when they get older, they won't have themselves be held accountable for something for they doing. They will say, well, I was never taught that. I don't care. It is what it is. You must be black. You black. Why you can't let me go? Right. No, that's not how the world works. And some people could be sympathetic to your cause. Some people cannot be sympathetic. You might get someone who had a bad day and have you had that thing. She could have lost deals. Dang, you can't be in. You can't do that. You can't do that. And what? Or because you took the responsibility and smoked something that you know is banned. So it's like we have to be held accountable for something like that. That correctional lieutenant needs to be held accountable for sleeping with an inmate. Someone who can help a therapist will be held accountable for counseling this person and sleeping with them when they know they're supposed to be doing that. Every job has an accountability action and consequences action for something you break in. Financial makers, anything. So we are not above it, especially if you sign a contract. And you know that rules is with law as well. So
another thing is, especially if we fight for equality so much, you know, just because we black and proud and beautiful kings and queens, princesses, and so on and so forth, if we want equality, we have to go for the same rules. And even if we have to fight for them. So we can't think that we're above someone's approach. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I agree. When you break it down like that, I get it. Because like I said, I was on the other side of it's just a little bit of weed. What is the big deal? They out here tripping. They looking for a reason to get her out because she gonna get in there and dust all they goddamn asses. But yeah, you're right.
But that's a fact. They know she's gonna dust all of them, so they're scared.
But we also have to remember that we as Americans, because we're all, you know, when we're competing, technically, we want whoever's going to be the best and fastest. So in this case, as much as people like, oh, it's because she black. No. All of us probably would have band together and said, but we like winning medals. We like stunting on other countries. You know, we love it. Gang, not playing. But I think also it turns into, I think a lot of people would have been like, oh, just let the girl race. Because, you know, we're the USA. We want to win. We want to be on top. We want to be the best. We want to be seen in that thing. But then you also have to think about it. Yeah, this is weed here in America. And, you know, you have different strands, different types. You don't know what the heck they growing over there is their version of weed.
Yeah.
It could be a little bit of anything. A little bit of everything. And that's their standard.
And you know, the end result is that they're going to still be voting for her, routing for her when she wins, because what they want the USA to win. So contrary to their color blindness, they're going to be like, no, USA, Team USA. So as much as hate they want to apply, they still going to be like, we want us to win. That's that prideful, foolish, you know, behavior. And you know they're going to do that.
And Miss CC was
she's a
role model. we had a talk about discussions that about celebrities start being role models. We got to be careful about saying that.
Hey, you remember how much they loved Kaepernick until he took the knee?
Yeah,
that's a
they loved Kaepernick until he took the knee.
Can we say she's the role model because we like how she is as a track star? It's like that because she's good at her craft and running and racing, and we all aspire to say, "Oh, we don't see that much," but we say that she's a good track star, but we can't say she's a role model if she has something want to be a role model. Most she say, "No, I'm not a role model. I just like to inspire people." So we could look up to her, and I'm not discrediting her work. We could look up to her. But we can't automatically assume that she's a role model because then you're placing that all responsibility on her that you have to do everything good. And look, she got there for that she done when she took responsibility, and that's good.
Yeah,
she took accountability. But because she did this wrong, so we give her a role model, so she can't do nothing wrong. So we gotta be careful.
And you know what? Another thing that bounces off the celebrities, like how people like try to peg the celebrities as you're influencing my child because of your music or your art or whatever. It's not their responsibility to parent your own kids, so you can't put that on them. And I also think that it takes a lot for you to motivate somebody in 15 seconds, but it takes a lot for you to be a role model. You know, for young women that want to be fast as her, want to accomplish those things, they want to be proud with their long nails, you know what I'm saying, with the lace fronts and shit, you know what I'm saying? There's levels to it. And I think that we're all in agreement with like the suspension and the judgment of her. There's levels to it, but
you know what, Miss Cece? Literally, that was my thought right there, Miss Cece. I was going to say that I see her as, I wouldn't say a role model, but I do see her as somebody who you would strive to be as good as, maybe, you know, as when you get into the Olympics. So because I agree. I feel like we have to be real careful because there's a lot of time. For example, Beyonce is an artist that I absolutely love, but she even said herself she doesn't want to be seen as a role model because she is human. Because the minute that role model does something that you don't like, then it's all fuck everything that I ever thought about you before, and you really this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So I do look up to her as in somebody that I strive to be as fast as her and as humble as her because I seen how hard she worked to get to the Olympics. Yeah. So I strive to work as hard
a role model for the artistic ability. So she's good track star, so we can look up to that aspect. But don't
you just quoted her verbatim, Auntie MoMo, how she just said, "I'm human. I make mistakes."
And then if somebody can explain this to me, I don't understand what she meant by. She had tweeted something that said, "If you support Lil Nas X, don't follow me." What did she mean by that?
I really don't understand. I don't know what was the tweet about. Like, what is her stance against Lil Nas X? Now, let's say that she don't like him, whatever. And she don't like him as an artist, or she don't like maybe because he's gay. We don't know. We don't know the substance of why she would say that. My issue about that tweet is that you say if you follow Lil Nas X, unfollow me. So you have 1 million more supporters who lie to you. We all not think the same way. Some of us might like Lil Nas X. So we say we have to choose you over another person that we like as well. So and in my platform, it'd be crazy that you on the moment say, well, I don't like anybody who support, let's just do something simple, silly, Rihanna. Whatever. If you like Rihanna, unsubscribe me now.
Right.
A lot of people who like Rihanna will unsubscribe and say, wow, she say that, like, we support her, we riding for you, and you gonna tell us to do this? You don't have to. I don't have to follow you. If it's my choice to not to follow you, based on
exactly, it's my choice not to follow you.
But if you gonna tell me to unfollow you because I support someone else, then that's messed up. So I don't know what's the content for saying that. And it was an old
exactly.
So,
and you know how I surmised it, bro? You know how I surmised it is that if she has so much faith with her mom being addicted on drugs and stuff, and her grandma had to step in, I'm sure that her grandma may have given her a strong Christian background of keep your faith and keep your 10 toes to it. You know what I'm saying? So again, I don't mean to offend anybody. People that believe in those religious beliefs are allowed to believe in them, and how they bend it is how they bend it.
I agree.
It's how they bend it. But she probably was defending what she was taught. And this is the whole point of the works of God. You have to be forgiving. You have to be understanding. You have to look over from what the media tells us. You know what I'm saying? So it could be more than that. And we still have to respect her religious following, even if we don't agree with it.
Yes, you know, but you can't tell someone that they need to. Well, like I said, if I listen to you and I want to follow you based on what you present to me, that's my choice. But if I follow you and then it's like you basically indirectly telling me I can't.
But you already solved the problem, bro. You said you don't have to follow him. That's how you got to the bottom. I don't have to follow you. I don't have to follow the lead. So that's how we handle it.
To me, that again is piggybacking off of being a role model. Okay, what if we see her on this track, like I said, is this fast, humble black queen, but behind closed doors, you never know how somebody really is. You know what I'm saying?
And we've used celebrities like that too.
A lot
we put them on a pedestal, and then we don't know how they are as
right. Like Mizzle said, we should necessarily put somebody up there on that pedestal as being a role model, because you never know. She could be, and I ain't, nothing against her, but we just don't know how she is off of this track when she's at home with her friends and her family and all that. But again, she is somebody, if I were trying to be an Olympic gold medalist, she is definitely somebody that I would strive to train as hard as she has, and learn the curves and the ways of the track and different things like that. But to call her a role model, I wouldn't call her, because I don't feel like that's fair to call anybody a role model. I don't feel like that's fair unless you somebody like Derek Jackson and you out here preaching to the women like you know every goddamn thing. Okay.
It's too soon to call her a role model.
You claim to be this, that, and the other. Yeah, a nigga like him, you can get on a nigga like him because he claims to be all this. But Sha'carri never claimed to be a role model, and she never said she wanted to be one.
And I think Tracy shared something. She shared this with me, and she made the tweet. Because I said, "Oh, the tweet was an old tweet." And people always like to look at your old tweets. Yeah. But she said that New Line X that came out in 2019. So we don't know what is her reason behind tweeting that before he came out. Did she knew him before and she didn't like, or she just never liked her? Right. So I don't know what the content of the tweet. So
it could be the taste in the music or her beliefs on how. So you know what I'm saying? We gotta, again, double side of the coin. If she feels that way, we can't bastardize her and take away her opinion, as we can't do everybody else's. And I think that's one thing Black people got to understand, that we just can't. We can't apply to the council culture if that,
True. Right.
So we shouldn't apply to Caucasian tactics to bring someone down. We got to look over the fucking rainbow. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So everybody was up in a roar because we want her to be there. We want her to get the gold Olympics. Why? Because we want a strong, powerful Black woman to win and dominate. But we got to understand the things in between. You know what I'm saying? How the machine runs. And instead of us turning the blind eye to it, we just got to be like, I see it. I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping she does get to come back and compete, because this is definitely a learning lesson for her. You know what I'm saying? And like Miss Cece said, she's still young and she's still evolving. If she doesn't make these Olympics, she got 5 more years to come out here and dust these bitches again.
And them skills ain't easy. If you got them skills, you're going to keep them.
Come on.
So within 4 years, you're going to be able to still run, if not faster, at the same speed. So you already winning, baby girl. Come on now.
I just wanted to play, before we get out of here, I just wanted to play a little bit of what she had to say when she was doing an interview.
Her mother had passed away. You found out when a reporter told you. And it was after that you ingested some kind of marijuana. I should mention, you were in Oregon. It's legal in Oregon. You didn't violate any law, but it was against the rules of your sport. And as you said, you knew that. But is that what happened? Is that how this unfolded?
Honestly, yes, that is the story. I had an interview scheduled with my agent. I knew I was having an interview. I knew going to the interview. Like, I was just thinking it would have been a normal interview, and then on the interview to hear that information come from a complete stranger was definitely triggering, was definitely nerve-shocking. Because
you found out.
Sha'carri Richardson did not use steroids. According to a source, Richardson is facing a 30-day suspension for testing positive for marijuana, y'all. Po baby.
It's like, okay, I work in HR, accounting shit. It's like how when somebody's about to get fired and you're the third party to tell them that they're going to get fired, so you don't know everything in between that happened, So it's like the third party came and tried to persecute me for what I did and don't even know the logistics of it.
Yeah. God damn. It sounds like they shooting some goddamn old Wild Wild West Daniel Boone ass guns out there. God damn.
And before we get off here, we got to understand that as her being a black woman, she's still striving to be her best. But she's also a woman who is still persecuted by all these motherfuckers who think she couldn't be strong enough. Let's make that clear.
JW, I was thinking that too. I be all up in the tweets and the Twitters and on the IGs and all that and Shade and all the comments. And I'd seen something, and I believe it was in the Shade Room comments, that's saying that she's a part of the LGBTQ community as well. So that's why I was confused. Like, I would hope that's not no homophobic tweet that she had put out saying that, because word on the curb is you a whole weed smoking lesbian your damn self. So.
Well, again, like, we're not stupid here. We surmise it. It just could be her taste in music. That's it.
Mine about tomorrow. I think you joining my live tomorrow for the Love the Hip Hop tomorrow.
Yes, I'm getting ready to put your link in right now. Just to say, go ahead and close us out, Mizzle.
All right, so tomorrow, y'all know Love the Hip Hop is coming back after a whole year hiatus when we doing this whole, the pandemic, the panorama.
The panorama.
The panorama.
Hiatus, but it's coming back. Atlanta is the first franchise to come back, so that's tomorrow. So we usually record and we do the review afterwards, but we're gonna do this this year. This time is that tomorrow the premiere, we're gonna do an after show. So on Easter time. So I think it comes an hour before. It's 8 o'clock my time, right? 7 o'clock Central time. So after
5 my time,
9:15, we'll go on live and just for an hour, so like to talk about the episode and see, because there's a lot of people on this show now. It's like Erica Safari is back, and
I'm gonna be in the background on my popcorn listening to y'all watching it. Like I'm just gonna be sitting there like, yes, give it.
It's a lot of people that's back on this show, and it's listening. And sometimes that Love and Hip Hop is that guilty pleasure. We know it's not Orville, so it's like it's ratchet and stuff. And sometimes we'll give good reviews.
Wait, who was that who had the idea that Safari and Erica was doing it was like a publicity stunt every time they kept breaking up? Who was this talking about that?
Safari like, and Erica?
Yeah, like who was saying that? It was one of us.
I was like when we was talking about the divorcing and after the second child and everything and the issues, I was like, we know that the show is coming back up. So I don't know if this is something to promote people to watch their storyline for this coming season. Because it seems like it's going to happen. Because all the time they see they're divorcing, they're not leaving each other. So
they're not divorcing. So I think
no,
so I was like,
they just had another baby. Child, they ain't finna divorce nobody.
And not to mention they've been filming through quarantine. So remember they filmed like 4 to 6 months back. Yeah. So while they was trying to fool us about their BS, they was actually plotting the ploy.
Yeah.
Clocked.
Yeah. So 9:15, it was a little time after the episode end on Eastern time, 8:15 Central, that will be on live on my channel to talk about the show. And every week after that, we will probably go back to our recording thing. It's just that premiere special that we're gonna have the live for.
Yeah. Who's bringing the crab legs and the potato salad?
Yes, I love it.
Watching MoMo, and most likely Tracy, she can go for work, and us two will talk about the show. And it's in there. If you watch the show, you want to come in, let me know.
Are they bringing Spice back?
Yeah, the biggest Spice.
They should. I like Spice.
Yeah, because that's my girl.
Capacity, but she is coming back to the show. And
so who are all the people they bringing back? If it's like a lot of them, so
I mean, we know Kirk Rashida as well. Kirk Rashida. We have Savavia Erica. We have Spice. We have what was it? Yandy. Yandy always jumping around. You know, Yandy.
She gonna get her.
Lost her good Mona. She always gonna have a check. So
and Medici too. So she coming back with Medici.
And it's a lot of what's her name?
Bambi and Scrappy.
Yeah, Bambi
and Scrappy. Okay. Are they bringing back the Akbar girl who fights everybody?
No, I don't think she's coming. She said she's back. She's not coming back.
What about was it Mariah?
I can't forget her name. Carly Rae is coming back.
They need to bring Mariah Lynn back. Mariah Lynn was funny to me. I liked her.
Wait, what's our song? I know whole money. I know whole money.
I was a hoe. I was a hoe. And I did the shit. I was a hoe.
Miss 49 would be so mad at us. She'd be like, I was not a hoe.
Super trailer. On YouTube, they had the super trailer, so you could get out. And there's a lot more people, new people's coming on the show too. Lung artists I don't know about, but you'll see how they storylines go. So
okay, I'm on it.
All right.
I want to see the girl who made the diss track about her mama. Definitely want to see that.
Who made a diss track about her mama?
The little new. That's the storyline of the little new girl that's on the show. It's her and her mom. She made a diss track about her mama.
How you drop a diss track to your mama? Who is these people?
Oh, baby,
I don't know.
I'm ready for this.
In there like swimwear.
I just see it read some.
I'm ready for this.
Wait, are any of you guys going to do the Love After Lockup review about the guy who got dumped by the white girl who slept at her mama's house?
When is that?
I love After Lockup.
That Deontay and Nicole?
I think so.
It didn't, not the one that just came on Friday, right?
No, it was the one Mizzle got me hooked on. Yeah, when he was like, that one.
The new episode come on again on Friday. Oh yeah.
Y'all gotta break that down meticulously like Lego.
Let me tell you something. Wait, no. Let me say this right now. I'm gonna need y'all not to be dragging my future wallet like that. Okay, my blonde wig is coming in the mail. My name is nice and Caucasian. I'll be sure to Caucasian my voice up. I'm about to get this money because $30K for a year, and all I had to do is talk to you on the phone.
And for you to drive up upside you drive up to her mama house and she like, you can't come inside. You can't come inside. You gotta go home.
If he don't see that this girl is using him,
listen, y'all need to stop telling him stuff. He don't need to see nothing till I can get my 30 racks.
This is why confidence is important. He's not a bad looking guy.
No,
he's not a bad looking guy. So where's his confidence at to not get through the guys of what's going on?
He tall and skinny too.
Listen, I don't care nothing about. I just need my 30 bands. Stop giving him ideas. My blonde wig is coming, baby. We got to get this money.
Wait, Tracy, you got to go to prison first.
We got to play. I don't need to go to prison. I just need to get my profile on the prison website. Baby. I got this planned out.
She said, Dominique says her name is Meta.
Meta.
Oh. Yeah, look, I got this planned out. I'm telling you right now. I was like, I could get $30K a year just to talk to you on the phone and pretend like I like you. I could do this, okay? I could do this. You put your mind to it.
My guy, but wait for a year and a half without having relationships with anybody, and you like spend all that money, and she just like, nah.
Literally.
Y'all know she married a woman.
I didn't know it until you told me that. Yes, when I was doing a live, I did a live last night, and somebody said that, I think it was you. She married a woman. I'm like, what?
So she lied to him when she said that she didn't have sexual relationships with anybody else.
In 4 years, yes.
Hey.
See,
She
I'm
said,
waiting for the
look,
review.
look,
I
look.
need the review. I need the review down.
Listen, what she really meant to say was, I haven't been touched by a man in
In
4
so
years.
many
Okay.
years,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
It's a
I
difference.
ain't had relations with a man. She just had to be technical. But either way, I don't care. I'm on this. I'm about to get this money. Okay. Twitter, Instagram, prison profile. Baby, I'm about to figure this out.
I
Hi,
feel you, Tracy.
yes.
I've been saying for the longest, I want a sugar daddy that don't want sugar.
What?
If I can find me a sugar daddy that don't want sugar, baby, I'm in.
Listen,
wait, how about we
in.
need to infiltrate whatever Grinder, whatever LinkedIn they on, and act as prisoners because these niggas sound like simps.
Who you telling?
And we need to make fake mug shots. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Show some ass, some
in
little
the
butt
background,
cheeks.
holding
Exactly. If you that easy to get played, bro, we.
Let me see this good Photoshop. A white brick wall, or gray, whatever color they sell.
Wait,
What's
what's my parole officer's name? What jail did I go to? What was my conviction?
Look, how about this? Look. Sir Neale, I'll be your parole officer if you be mine. We got this.
Go to jail.
Yes. Just how we fake it on a resume. If the nigga about to break coin like that, ain't nobody else getting that shit.
What?
And after Rachel and Doug, I would say, listen, his diet is bologna. Best believe his diet will be bologna every motherfucking day. I won't change nothing.
Nothing.
Every time I go shopping, vac them up. Bologna salad, bologna turkey sandwiches, bologna pasta. He said, bologna. I said, that's what you want. That's all you're going to get.
That's what you're used to.
Listen, y'all playing. I'm trying to see if she got a brother, because she be spending racks and she's simple. Is her brother that simple? Because I'm just saying, I need to get in with the simp family, baby. Shoot, I got college to pay for. I got college to pay for, and this really sound like the come up.
I got insurance. I got dental insurance. I got fucking vision insurance.
But this sound like the come up I've been looking for.
You know what though? He is finna get out of jail, and he finna do that girl so wrong. I can already foresee it. I can already tell it. One, because his son is even disrespectful to her. His son even talks to her like she's damn crazy. He talks to her like she's a dog on the phone. And so now he's out, and then he towers over her as much as he does. He gonna use all of that shit to his advantage, and he gonna do her ass wrong. He really is.
It's like Jocelyn when we discovered that Jocelyn was trying to do the pimp shit on the cabaret. This nigga is playing the field on her and told everybody that I don't really care about this bitch. So I'm just pretending for her. So y'all need to pretend just a little bit, so I can get mine.
What time we going live tomorrow night, Mizzle? Love and Hip Hop. They come on at 7.
It's coming probably 7 your time and 8 o'clock at New York time, Eastern time. They usually come on 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock Eastern and 7 o'clock your time. But I had to watch the episode.
I do too.
The show. So 9 o'clock, 9:15, we're going live right after the show. 15 minutes after the show ends, we're gonna go live.
If y'all don't tag me in this, I'm gonna send some fireworks over there.
We got you, boo.
But you have to watch the episode. Yours is for 3 hours before us, so you gotta find out what Love and Hip Hop is in your time.
I got you. I'm already on it.
So we go live and talk about it.
We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. I put Mizzle's channel in the chat. Let me drop it in here one more time. Y'all join us tomorrow. It's 9 p.m. Eastern. No, 9 p.m. Central. And what time Eastern?
No, 9:50 Eastern, 8:15 Central.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And Miz, tell them what's the other one you do? The Love After, with the ones that got married, that are dating. What is that one called?
You talk about I do Love and Marriage Huntsville. I do Marriage First Sight. I do Put a Ring on it.
It's not Marriage First Sight.
Put a Ring on it. Ready to Love.
I think it's Ready to Love with the guy Chris.
Put a Ring on Ready to Love.
Yeah, Ready to Love. That's a good.
Oh, you talking about Marriage First Sight?
I don't know, nigga. You don't want to tell me about all these shows. I'm trying to catch up.
They get married and they go through an 8 weeks process. And that process, that's Marriage First Sight. Oh, the new season's in Houston this year, y'all, and it's coming airing July 20 something. And this Wednesday they're gonna do a casting premiere of how they pick the couples. So Auntie MoMo, watch Houston this year.
Yes. Right here what JW said. I'm so glad you said that because I completely forgot about that. I seen that on the web earlier today that Lacey and Nicole used to mess around together. Nicole, that's Dante's prison chick. She used to mess around with Lacey. Duckface Lacey. Yep.
They scamming. They scamming on some Florida shit. Florida water.
I'm in jail now, so I can with John now.
I'm in John.
Oh my God. It's just John.
Sometimes don't you wish that you had no morals?
Babe. Yes. Tomorrow night, join us on Mizzle's channel. His info is down there in the little chat thing right now.